Okay, so I am going to start off with chapter 1, and because this is not the in-class lecture, I'm going to just quickly go through the work that is needed to be saved and sent in. So with chapter 1, we're working with the test drive, the Craig's Design and Landscaping Services, and it's just a snapshot. Chapter 1 is just a snapshot of what we'll be doing in chapters 2 through 10 in creating our company from scratch. So if you come over here and you have to go into your ebook by logging into the class and then going to the McGraw-Hill and double clicking on the ebook when you go through the school, the library part, and fast forward to page 11, and this is where you'll see the link to the test drive. You could also go to google.com and type in Craig's QBO test drive, Craig's design and landscape. Okay, so here we are at the sample company, and this is where we'll be doing all the work for just only chapter 1. After this, in chapter 2, we'll be getting started on our own company, and that will be the next video. Okay, so here we are at the test drive, and I do want to say something before we get started. This is a template, so if you exit and come back in, it is just going to bring you right back to the beginning. So you want to make sure that you don't do that as you're going along, that you stay inside the program while you're completing the entire assignment. So first we'll do the chapter assignment, and I'm going to fast forward. Of course, if you came to class, I went through all these steps, but I want to fast forward to accountant settings. So if you come over here and you go to the gear icon, and you go to accountant settings, and on the very bottom is advanced on the navigation. Let's give it a second. Okay, there we go. Here's advanced, and in the advanced section, you'll see chart of accounts, where you'll be able to edit it. And what they ask you to do here is to enable the account numbers and show account numbers. So that's right here on this page 14. They wanted you to do these steps by enabling the account numbers and show account numbers. If you don't do this, when you go to save the account listing or chart of account for this chapter, it's not going to show the numbers, and so you're not going to get a grade for that particular assignment. All right, so now that I've done that, let me fast forward to the chart of accounts. So the chart of accounts for this particular assignment, not next week, we're just going to be editing and adding these numbers in. So when we come into here, all right, let me save this. We're going to go to our chart of accounts, and there's two ways you can go to your chart of accounts. You can either go to the gear icon, and under company, you'll see chart of accounts. Sorry, this is going a little slow. So you go to the gear icon, and under company, there we go. Under your company, you'll see chart of accounts. So that's one way. And the other way to go to is on the left-hand navigation, go down to accounting, and you'll see chart of accounts. So access it either way. And so when we come over here and want to see our chart of accounts, we're going to edit. We're going to batch edit our chart of accounts. So notice we have this column here, and that's because we enabled the number to show the number. So to batch edit, you come over here to this pencil, and that's where you click on batch edit. And once you do that, now we're able to begin typing in all the numbers. So checking is 1,000, savings is 1010, accounts receivable is 1020, inventory asset I believe is 1025. Let me go back over here to the book. Right, so you see checking is 1,000, savings is 1010, accounts receivable is 1020, inventory asset is 1025. And so this is not how we'll do it next class, because next class we're going to actually create some of them from scratch for our own company. But just for the sake of simplicity, we already have all these accounts here. We're just going to batch edit and put the numbers in here. That's all we're doing here. So we have 1030 for prepaid expenses, 1035 for uncategorized asset. Scroll down a little. Undeposited funds, 1040. Truck, 1050. Depreciation, 1051. Original cost, 1052. Let me just make sure you see we have here original cost 1052. Then accounts payable is 2,000. Scroll down a little. Accounts payable is 2000. MasterCard 2005. Visa 2010. Board, no, this is Arizona. We skip that. Skip Arizona Department of Treasury, I think it is, and go to Board of Equalization, and that's 2013. And then let me just show you that in the book. See, they just have between Visa and then 2013 is Board of Equalization payable. So we don't have to, we skip that Arizona. Loan payable is 2015. Notes payable is 2200, so 2200. Opening balance equity is 3000. And retained earnings is 3900. All right, so let's go back to the book and just verify. Okay, it looks like we got everything. And so then it tells you to save. Now this is the assignment that you're going to have to save. It's called the account list or your chart of accounts. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then once you save, it'll bring you back to your regular chart of accounts. We're out of batch edit. And to save, you would come up here and you would click on Run Report. And then when the report comes up, there's going to be a download button. So you have to scroll up a little and a little bit over to the right for me. And then you'll see here, this is where you can export, and we'll always export to PDF for our assignments. So I'm going to go to export to PDF, and it'll be like a print screen, and we're just going to go save as PDF. When you, if you have a Chromebook, if you're click Save as PDF, immediately a pop-up window will come on the bottom right, and it's going to say Show in Folder. It'll have a little link, and you'll have a few seconds to click on that. You're going to go ahead and click on that Show in Folder, and you're going to name the file what the book tells you to name it, because if you go to your announcements, there's in lieu of assignments to hand in for all Connect assignments. So you'll know which one you have to send this. And I just want to come down here and scroll down and show you what the book says. So the book says save as chapter 1 underscroll capital C of capital A, so that's chart of accounts, underscroll sample company. I'm fine with that, but if you want to add your name, you certainly can. So this was the assignment that I asked you to send me in lieu of the Smart Book chapter 1 assignment. And so make sure you save that as a PDF in your file. And if you don't know how to send yet, it's either going to be via email or responding to my announcement, but I can show you that in class if you haven't gotten that far. All right. So we have now saved our chart of accounts, and let's just scroll down to the bottom and see that's the end of that page. And then it tells you to sign out. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and keep it in there and continue. So then they ask you to look at recent transactions. So if you ever wanted to look at like what's going on, what happened today, this is the magnifying glass, and this is where you'd be able to see recent transaction. Another good way to look at what's going on with the company, everything that was inputted, let's say today or the last couple of days, is by going to tools and then under here going to audit log. And when you do that, it'll bring up all the recent transactions. Okay. So let's go back to the book and let's see what else. The next thing they go on. So they said, oh, well, let's click on one of those transactions and see what happened. We're not going to do that because of time. The next thing is reports. So they have you looking at your journal, and reports is a huge part of this class. So you'd come over here to your left-hand side navigation pane, and then you're going to click reports. And here you're going to see favorites. You have the balance sheet and profit and loss, which I will be asking you to save those in the future. And then if you don't see what you're looking for, let's say if you're going for the trial balance or journal, once you start typing it in, you'll see it and you'll be able to select journal, and then you'd be able to see the trial balance for this month usually. So we're on the 23rd, it would be March 1st to the 23rd. But that isn't anything you have to save. So I'm going to go forward. Check your progress is usually somewhere in the middle, like if you want to have an idea of where you should be at. I'm going to fast forward into this. Create an invoice. So as I said, chapter 1 is kind of a snapshot on what you'll be learning throughout this entire book. So it's a little of everything. So staying within the work for this class, it asks you to create an invoice. And one of the ways I can double check and make sure that you're staying on top of your work was for you to not exit out at the end of this chapter. And I'll discuss that when we get there. So here we have create an invoice. So to create an invoice, in everything you do, you'd either be going to the gear icon or +sign new. But for invoice, it'd be +sign new. And the very first thing under customers is invoice. So we would need to know what the name of the company is. So we have here, oh, well, they have you going another way. There's another way. You can go to sales and then customers, and then through there you can create an invoice as well by selecting the company. So we're going to do Duke's basketball camp, okay? And we're going to be selling a rock foundation to them. So Duke's basketball camp, I know it might be hard to see, but it says here Duke's basketball camp, and it's going to be one rock fountain, and you want to make sure that 8% California tax is applied. So let's go ahead and do that, and you're going to use the date that you're currently using. So we did this in class on the 22nd, so everybody was doing it for the 22nd. So I'm going to go to Duke's basketball game and make sure you use the date that you're on. So we're going to come over here to products, and I'm going to look for rock fountain. Here we go. And one of them, it comes to $275. And it does have the California 8%. You want to double check that it's correct. So we're going to go over here and go save and close, because I think we're doing one of each inside the chapter. So the next thing they have us do after the invoice is receive payment. So immediately when Duke received the invoice, they paid it. So we're going to go ahead here and we're going to go to receive payment, which is right under invoice. And we're going to select Duke's basketball camp, and then all the open invoices will come up. If you scroll down, up here we go with the one we just made, invoice 1038. And they paid it in full, so I'm not going to change this number, and I'm going to go save and close. So as you see here, under the +sign new, this is where would be all our transactions would be, and in a minute we'll be doing also sales receipt, which is cash sales, and then you have bills or writing a check or pay bill. So that's basically the features that we do in this class. So we do invoice, receive payment, sales receipt, check, bill, and pay bills. Those are the ones that we focus on primarily as far as business transactions. So we just did an invoice and a receive payment. Let's see what the next one is. So the next one tells you, well, you can look now that you've generated income by going to your dashboard, and under invoices, you'll see that there was a change. I'm not going to look at that. Let's look at the next thing. They go and have you do a few reports like the AR aging summary and the trial balance, none of which I ask you to save. So I'm going to fast forward up to, this is a business shot. You also get to see your profit and loss numbers on your dashboard, as well as you can go to your reports and print your profit and loss, which is also called your income statement. Okay. The next thing is sales receipt. So as I was saying, sales receipt are cash sales. So that's when a customer comes in. Like, I know if you had me for accounting, I use G3 Bakery as an example. And I said 90% of my sales would be cash sales. People are coming in, they're buying donuts, pastries, croissants, and so on, and they're giving me money. I'm not going to input their information individually for every person who comes and buys a cookie or a bagel. Instead, I would put that as cash sales. So that's what we're going to do with our company. But with this company, we're actually going to be selling to Cool Cars. And they're going to give us a check, and we're going to make sure it's tied to checking, and we're going to select design, custom design, and there were 3 hours. So we went to, we're a landscaping custom design company, and we're saying we spent 3 hours at Cool Car doing custom design work for that customer. So let's come over here to +sign new, and the 5th one down is sales receipt. We're going to select Cool Cars. We'll have the same date. So over here, we're going to select check. Now, for our company, we'd further give more information and go to reference number and put the check number, but they don't provide that in this chapter. So, and then you want to make sure it's tied directly to your checking. So we're going to come over here and we're going to go to custom designs, And we're going to say quantity 3 because we spent 3 hours there. And so we're billing them a total of $225. And there's no sales tax to that. So it'd be $225, and then it tells us to go save and close. So file, save and close. All right, let's look at the next thing we're doing. Enter a bill. So we're going to be entering Lee Advertising for $250. So we're going to go to plus sign new, and under vendor, you're going to select bill. We're going to select Lee's Advertising. Now remember, we're using the same date for all of them, so we don't have to change the date here. And under category, you're going to select advertising expense. And it was for, let me double check, $250. And this is going to be save and close. So we entered that $250 bill. And the next thing we're going to do is write a check. So we're writing a check to Computers by Jenny. It says it should be check number 71. And we're purchasing supplies. We purchased a tablet computer for $650. So let me come over here, and I'm going to go plus sign new. And under vendor, the second one down is check. I'm on check number 71. I'm selecting Computers by Jenny. Don't need to change the date because we've been using today's date. And we're going to go to supplies. If you don't see it as you're scrolling, you can start typing it as well, and it'll pop right up. So I'm going to go to supplies, and then they asked us to write purchased tablet computer, $650. So purchased tablet computer, and that is for $650. And we'll do save and close. All right, now let me show you, if you ever, like, did I save, it saved and put me right out. Did I do that correct? Well, we see we're on check number 72, so 71 did save, but one of the best ways to do it is you can go into any of these features, and there's this, let me go back and see recent transactions, and we can see, yes, it was for $650. And you can double click it and make any changes if you made a mistake at any point. All right, so let's scroll down and see if there's anything else for this. No. So I'm going to go to the next one. It says, let's look at our journal. So then we're going to look at our journal, and we should see these transactions we just did. So we'll go to reports, and we'll start to type in journal. And I'll select it, and it's going to be for this whole month instead. I'm just going to go ahead and pick this date. It's technically the 24th. So when I do that and I scroll down, I'm going to see these transactions just put in. I have the invoice from Duke's basketball camp, the payment, and then the sales receipt, the bill, and the check. Because remember, I didn't sign out and come back in. I don't have you do that. I have you just staying within this template all the way to the end of the homework assignment. So let me scroll down and see if there's anything else. Nope. So that was it. That's the end of this page. Check your progress. So this is where you can stop and see if you're where you're at. It tells you to sign out, which I asked the class not to sign out. I asked them to stay in. So we'll go ahead and keep that same energy. So now it says these are this is the homework part. So this would be what you would have to save as your project. So the homework part goes like this. You always have exercise 1-1, and this is the meat part of the chapter where you're actually going to review whatever you've done up until this point. And then exercise 1-2, or the second part, would be where you're saving the files. So this would be what you would have to save for the project. So let's go ahead and do the homework for this chapter. And I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to start here for number 4. And don't worry, on the top it just has you go into the accountant settings and set like the blackout, you know, like for your screen to stay open for 3 hours. There's no need for that. It's not going to take us that long. So we're going to just fast forward to number 4, and it says sold 3 rock fountains on account to Amy's Bird Sanctuary. So when we sell on account, that means it's an invoice. So we're going to go plus sign new. We're going to go to invoice, and we're going to select Amy's Bird Sanctuary. We're going to keep the same date, just like we have been doing. Okay. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. Let me just scroll down. And I believe it was rock fountains, 3 of them. This might be the one that didn't have the, oh, it does. Okay, good. It does have the California 8%. So let's look over here. We sold 3 rock fountains on account to Amy Bird. It's $8.25 with 8% sales tax. Should come out to $8.91. I'm just going to fast forward in my book so I don't have to keep coming back to, now you should have your ebooks open. So, but let me just double check and make sure that I have that. Did it come out to $8.91? Yes, it did. So I'm going to come down to the bottom and I'm going to go save and close because I want to go out and come back in. I don't know where I got that little box from. So the next one they have here is sold 20 sprinkler heads on account. So we're going to go to invoice again, or if you were in invoice, you could have went to save and new. But the second one in is Sushi by Katasuki, I believe. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So Sushi by Katasuki. All right, and just to show you in the book where we're at the next one right here. Sold 20 sprinkler heads on account to the customer, Sushi by Katasuki. That comes out to $40 plus the 8% sales tax, which should come out to $43.20. So I'm going to come over here and under product and service, I'm going to select sprinkler head. And they said they purchased 20 of them. So it came out to $40. Oh, this is the one. So this one you have to select California 8% sales tax. And then you're going to go save and close. Save and close. Because the next one is completed 4 hours of installation for Cookies by Kathy. So just to show you here in the book, you see the next one said completed 4 hours of installation of landscape design for Cookies by Kathy, but you received money. So that's a sales receipt. So you're going to go to plus sign new, and you're going to go down to sales receipt. You're going to select Cookie by Kathy, and that's with the K. Oops. There we go, Cookie by Kathy. And then that was 4 hours of installation of landscaping. So we're going to look for installation of landscaping design. There it is. And we're going to go quantity 4 because it's hourly rate. And that came out to $200. Or no. Hold on. I'm sorry. Is that correct? Completed 4. Yes, 200. All right, wonderful. And let me see. Do they discuss anything here? There's no sales tax charged. As you can see that it says in the book. So we're just going to go save and close. So the next one is completed 3 hours. Oh, it's another sales receipt. So we're going to go to plus sign new, and we're going to go to sales receipt because it says you completed 3 hours of custom design work for Cool Cars and received $220. So we're going to come over here and select Cool Cars, and I'll show it to you in the book here. That's this one, completed 3 hours of custom design work for Cool Cars. So we'll put quantity 3, and we have to select custom design work. So we'll come over here and we select custom design, and then we'll put quantity 3, and that comes to $225, and I'm going to go save and close. So the next one is completed 10 hours of custom design work on account. All right, and I'll show you here in the book. I have a book in front of me, but completed 10 hours of custom design work on account. So that would be an invoice. So we're going to go plus sign new invoice, and you did this 10 hours of work for John Melton. So we're going to come over here and select John Melton. And we'll scroll down, and we're doing 7 hours of custom design. I'm sorry, 10 hours. 10 hours of custom design work. And it comes out to $750. And that is going to be save and close. Because the next thing they have is receive the bill from Lee Advertising. So let's look at that over here. So it says receive the bill from Lee Advertising for $250. So you're going to come over here, plus sign new, and you're going to go to bill. And you're going to select Lee Advertising. And it'll populate what we had last time. And last time it was for $250. So we're going to do the same, and we're going to go save and new. Because the next one is receive the bill from Cal Telephone for $56.50. So let me show you that. It says here, receive the bill from Cal Telephone $56.50. So we're going to select Cal Telephone with a C. And this would be the telephone expense. So they already have it in here, and they have it for $56.50. So we're going to save and new. The next one is PG&E for $86.44. So we're going to come over here and select PG&E. And when we scroll down, it's already populated for us utilities for $86.44. So that's save and new. And then the last bill we're inputting is Whole Properties for $900. So I'm feeling that'll be populated as well. Let's come down here. We're going to select Whole Properties. And yes, we pay $900 a month, so it automatically has our rent expense. And that one's going to be save and close, because that's going to be our last bill we're inputting. After that, it says issue check number. Now it's going to say check number 71, but we already wrote check number 71, and I asked the class not to exit out since we were doing this in all one swoop. So if you did exit out and come back in, that's fine. You'll see 71 here, and I'm not going to penalize you if you did exit out. But when we were in class, we did not. So we're showing check number 72, and we would select Chin's Gas and Oil. Chin's Gas and Oil. Now, when we scroll down, it's going to have a pre-populated amount. However, if you look in the book, it says it's for $48.05 for fuel. Let me show you that here on the ebook. So over here, it says check number 71 should be $48.05 for fuel. So we're going to have to override because it's going to have something else here. It has maintenance and repair. So I want to override that. And let me just show you real quick. You can begin to type, and here I have fuel. And then the amount was $48.05. So I'm going to go save and another check. Yes, save and new. Now we're going to go to the next check. And the next check is for Ellis Equipment Rental. And I'll show it to you here in the book. So they have the next check is for Ellis Equipment Rental. And it's for $115. So if you did stay with me where we didn't exit out, it's going to be show check number 73. But if you did exit out, you also check number 72. So Ellis Equipment Rental, and the check was for $115. And they're saying that that should be under rental expense or equipment rental. So let's see what we have here. Equipment rental. Okay, so we have equipment rental, and that would be for $115. And that's going to be save and new because we have one more check, and our last check is check number for us 74, but in the book it says 73 because again we didn't exit out. And that last one is for Red Rock Diner for $23.37, and that should be for meals and entertainment expense. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to go to did we have Red Rock Diner? Oh yes, it looks like it's separating that. Here we go, Red Rock Diner. And we're going to come over here to category, and we're going to select meals and entertainment. And we had it for $23.37. And that would be save and close. So now that we've done all the activities for the homework, the next thing we need to do is look and see what files we have to save and send. So I only ask you to do the journal and the trial balance. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to go to reports and we're going to type in journal. Oops. And I'm going to select journal and we're going to use it for the dates that we just put in, right? So I'm going to put the 23rd to the 24th, since I believe I started this video maybe on the 23rd, and that's why it's okay. And we should see all the transactions that we have inputted throughout the whole chapter. They'll all be here. And so I know it was a discrepancy here because we had a few students that logged out and a few that went in, but I'll be able to read this in its entirety. So if you were to save your journal now, you would come up to the top and you have this download, and you'd come over here and you'd export to PDF. And then when you do that, it's going to save the journal for you. The next thing you're going to do is the trial balance. So you're going to go to trial balance and you're going to put in the dates that we have. You have to make sure to change it because it's going to have other transactions in there. And we're going to run report. And let's see if it's the number that we had in class. I actually don't really remember what the number was for the trial balance offhand. But this one says $44,887.66. So there's a lot of stuff in here that we didn't do because the business already exists, okay? So if your number is a little off than that, don't worry, I'll probably be able to figure out what had went wrong there. But this first chapter is just a quick little snapshot of what we'll be doing over the rest of this course, chapters 2 through 10. And tomorrow we're starting with chapter 2. That'll be a very quick video. Now, mind you, just if you're thinking to yourself, wow, that was fast and she skipped things, these videos are only supplementary. These videos are for you to go over and maybe follow along if you weren't in class, or to double check your numbers if you were in class. These videos are not like the actual lecture I do in class, because the lecture in class, I'm obviously explaining everything in detail, asking students to interact. Of course, I wouldn't just go through and do everything myself. I'd say, all right, guys, what are we going to do to make a cash sale? By the way, a cash sale would be cash sales receipt, the fifth one down. And I'd be asking and interacting with you, also giving you hints on what's on the exam. However, that's not these videos. These videos are going to be just quickly going over what the chapter is in case you missed it. So I'm going to stop here. This is chapter 1 and in its entirety. The first one you saved, which was the chart of accounts, that is for the Smart Book. And then the other two, we just saved the journal and the trial balance, which if you didn't save the trial balance, all you have to do is scroll over. You click Run Report. And then when you get to Run Report, you would come down here and export to PDF. So you had to run report first. Those two files you would send me on the next class because you would have to add them with chapter 2, and that would be your project. So I'm going to end the video here, and I'm going to upload this. And again, these videos are just for supplemental work. If you have a question for me, send me an email. I will send you a Google Meet link so we can video chat, and maybe I can help you in whatever issues you may have. All right, this ends chapter 1.